Hello, my beautiful Carinites. Welcome back to class. Firstly, let me start with Happy New Year. Welcome to 2025. Thank you for the beautiful ride in 2024. Like, I am super grateful. In 2021, in 2024, we clocked 1K subscriber, 2K subscriber. Right now, we are over 2,500. Like, you guys did it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And also, don't forget you can support the channel by subscribing to my membership plan. I have 3 different plans. You can check that out. And we are starting the new year with this beautiful, as you can see what I have here on my screen, this beautiful pants, this bell pants. We will be making this beauty. And for this size, this is with size from 6 months to up to 18 months. So because you see this set, we are making 4-in-1 set. Yes, like it's going to be a long ride. I mean it. Like this year, I'll be dropping super cute and exciting content for you guys, like interesting content. We'll be making a pant, a matching top. We'll be adding a bucket hat and also a matching bag. Yes, you heard me right, matching bag. Like, you are going to love it, trust me. So stick to the channel, subscribe if you are not yet a subscriber, and turn on your notification bell because you are going to be loving the ride. So without wasting much of your time, let us get right into the materials we'll be needing to make this beauty. Super simple. The only stitch we'll be using in this tutorial is double crochet. Like, that's it. Double crochet. Make sure you know how to make your chain, and also slip stitch. It's super beginners friendly. So let's get right into the materials. The materials are super few. These are the materials we'll be needing. We're needing balls of yarn. I used, like I said, this with size up to 18 months. So you will be needing, I used around 4 to 5 balls of yarn. So this actually depends on the size you are making. And don't worry, I'll be dropping the size chart for each section in the video. So this is the yarn I'll be using, Yeye, which I frequently use on this channel. As you can see, it's a thin yarn. It's thin, so I'll be working with 2 strands together. So like I said, I used about 4 to 5 grams of this. If you are making for 0 to 3 months, you might not need up to that, and this is 40 grams. So put that in mind. If you are using a thicker yarn, you might need to upsize your hook, and your foundation chain might be different from mine. So the hook size I used in the course of this tutorial is size 3.5 hook. I don't want it to be too spacious, though it will be stretchy, but at the same time I don't want to use 4.0 hook, so I decided to downsize a little and use 3.5. So I'll be needing darning needle or tapestry needle. We'll be using that to make some sewing right here in the middle and also hide our hands. We're needing stitch marker, very important. We'll be needing tape measure, like super important. We need it in this tutorial. You need it, so make sure you have your tape measure with you. You need a pair of scissors, and optional, we need beads. It is quite optional. If you don't have it, it's not compulsory. So I'll be using this size 6, I think size 6 bead, pearl bead. I'll just use that to decorate my drawstrings here. So that being said, those are the materials we'll be needing in the course of this tutorial. So let's jump right into it. So like I said, I'll be using size 3.5, and I'll be doubling my strand. So we are going to be starting from the top of the pants, then we'll work downwards. So we're going to be starting with the waistband, and your foundation chain might be different, might differ from mine because of the size you might be making. So I'm going to start with 80 chains. So I will see what that will give me. Then if I need to add more, I will go ahead and do that. So let me quickly show you what I did. I'll go ahead and make a slip knot. So I'll just make a circle just like this. Then the longer one, I'll put it right inside that small circle and make a knot. So this is a slip knot. So I'll insert my hook, I will adjust that, and I will go ahead and chain 80. So to make a chain, I'll just yarn over and put through that loop. That's my first chain. Yarn over, put through the loop. Yarn over, put through the loop. So I have 3 chains already. So I'll go ahead and continue this until I have 80 chains in total. So I'll come and tell you what the measures and if I need to add more. So I have 80 chains, and this measures around without stretching, it's giving around 16 inches. It's even 16 inches without stretching. So if I stretch it, it will give me 18, 19. So if you are making this pant for size 0 to 6 months. This is actually perfect for 6 months. This we will do if you are doing for 6 months, but for me, I'm doing for 6 to 12 months, and if possible to 18 months, because like I said in the intro that we are making a 4-in-1 set, and babies cannot carry bag, and so I want it to be around 1 year to 18 months, because babies around 1 year to 18 months are working already, so they can easily carry bag for pictures and all those paparazzi. So the size I want to make, like I said, is around 6 months up to 18 months. So this is small for me, 80 chains. So I'll go ahead and add 10 more, and I will take the measurements. If I need to add more, I will let you know. So if you are doing 0 to 6 months, like I said, this is perfect for you. This measurement is perfect. So I'll go ahead and add more chains. So I added 20 more chains. So I have 100 chains here in total. So that is if you are using my size of my kind of yarn. If you are using a thicker yarn, trust me, you don't need up to 100. You will need to reduce. So that's why the measurement is very, very important. So my 100 chains is giving around 20.5 inches. And if I stretch, it's taking me, like, this is super stretched. It's going to 23, 24 inches. Like I said, I want it to size up to 1.5. And remember, it's not just about the apron measurements. Remember, they are wearing diapers, so we want something that will accommodate both diaper and the bum. So, and we'll definitely be adding drawstrings to the top of our pants, so that will help with adjustments. And you know how this baby's growth can be. Within how many weeks they have outgrown it, so we want something that they'll be able to wear for a while. So that's why I'm doing 100 chains. So put that in mind. And after doing that, I'll go ahead, I'll grab my chain to make sure that my chain is not twisted. You can see this is the front of my chain and here is the back. So with the front like this, I will go ahead and I'll go back to the very first chain, going like this to make sure that my chain is not twisted. So when I get to the very beginning like this, I'll go ahead, I'll grab this and turn it inward. I'll hold it with my other hand and I'll go into the first chain right in, and I'll make a slip stitch. So we just formed the ring, and trust me, our chain is not twisted if you follow what I just did. So we have our foundation chain ready. So after slip stitching, I'll go ahead, I'll chain up 2. This does not count as a stitch. So inside each and every of our chains, we are going to be working one double crochet in each chains. So I'll yarn over to work my double crochet. I'll go into that same chain where I slip stitch. I'll go right inside, pull out a loop. I have 3 loops on my hook. Then I'll yarn over, I'll put through the first 2. I'll yarn over and put through the last 2. So we just made a double crochet, and this is our first stitch. This is not a stitch. So I'll yarn over, I'll go into the next, I'll go right inside, pull out a loop, yarn over, put through the first 2, yarn over, put through the next 2. Again, let me show you that for the last time. I'll yarn over, I'll go right inside, pull out a loop, yarn over, put through 2, yarn over, put through 2. So I'll go ahead and repeat this all the way around. As for me, I will have 100 double crochets in total, but yours might be different because if you have a different foundation chain. So just go ahead and work your double crochets. When I'm done, I'll come back and show you the next thing to do. So this is what I have after working my single crochets, my double crochets, sorry. So after completing that, this is a slip stitch. I'm going to skip that. And you see our chain 2 that we started with, we are going to be skipping that. We'll just go directly into our first double crochet, which is this right here. I'll go at the top, I'll go right inside and make a slip stitch. So we just finished our first round. So after doing that, for the next 3 rounds, we are going to be working on the elastic, the waistband. So to do that, I'll chain up 2. Remember, the chain 2 does not count as a stitch. So we are going to be working front post and back post double crochet. So I yarned over already. So this is my first double crochet. So to work my front post, I'll go right by the side, push my stitch forward, then I'll grab my yarn, pull out a loop, yarn over, put through the first 2, yarn over, put through the last 2. So we just did a front post double crochet. So the next we are going to be working a back post. I'll yarn over, I'll go from the back, right here where I came out from here. I'll go back inside it. Then I'll push my stitch backwards, grab my yarn, pull out a loop, and I'll work my double crochet. So that's a back post double crochet. So we are going to be alternating in between these two stitches, front post and back post. So let me show you how to do them one more time. So I yarn over, go right inside, push my stitch forward, pull out a loop, work my double crochet. So I just worked the front post. So the next we are going to be working a back post. So yarn over, I'll go from the back, push my stitch to the back, grab my yarn, pull out a loop, and work my double crochet. So I'll go ahead and continue alternating between these two until I come to the very end. So when I'm done, I'll come back and show you the next thing to do. So this is what I have after completing my front post and back post. So after working the last stitch, which is back post double crochet, I'm going to skip my chain 2. Now go into my very first stitch and make a slip stitch. So after making a slip stitch, to proceed with the band, we're going to chain up 2 again. And right now we don't need to start looking whether we do front post or back post. We are just going to be working the stitches as they are. Where we have front post, we are going to work front post. Where we have back post, we work back post. So that's what we are going to do. So I yarn over, this is a front post, so I'll go around the stitch and work my front post double crochet. And the next stitch is a back post, so I'll go from the back, work around, then do my double crochet. The next is front post, I'll do a front post. The next stitch is a back post, I'll do the same back post. So I'll go ahead, repeat this until I get to the end. I'll skip the chain 2 and slip stitch. I'll chain up 2 and repeat the same thing again one more time. So for our front post and back post, we are going to have 3 rounds in total. We have 1 already. We are doing the second and we are going to do 1 more, making 3. In case you want your band to be thicker, you can go ahead and add 1 more round. But as for me, 3 rounds is fine. And after working that, I will come back and show you how we are going to start working on the body of the pants. So I have my 3 rounds completed. So this is the first, second, and the third, and that measures around 1.5 inches. Like I said, if you want it thicker, please go ahead and add more rounds. But for me, this waistband is fine. So we are going to start working on the body of our pants. I chained 2 already, and what we are going to be doing is we are just going to be working 1 double crochet into each and every of our stitches across. So I'll go back into that same stitch after chaining 2. I'll go right inside and work a double crochet. Now go into the next stitch, which is this. I'll go inside and work a double crochet. So this is all we are going to do. 1 double crochet in each and every of our stitches. So when I'm done, I will come back and show you the next thing to do. So go ahead and work your regular double crochets. So after working my double crochet round and I worked my last stitch, I'll skip the chain 2 and I'll go into my very first stitch and make a slip stitch. So this is what we have. This is what it looks like. So for the next few rounds, we are going to be repeating the same thing we just finished, and for this pattern I'll be working in the same direction. So but if you want to switch, please go ahead, but as for me, I'll be working in the same direction. So I'll chain up 2, and just like we did earlier, we'll go into each and every of our stitches and work 1 double crochet into every stitches. So not to take much of your time, so I'll go ahead and repeat this until I have about 8 to 9 rounds in total. So it will be in between 8 and 9 or 10. I'll come back and let you know the number of rounds I did. So if you are doing for 0 to 6 months, I think around 8 rounds should be fine, but I'll come back and give you the measurements and the number of rounds you need to do. So I'll go ahead and work between 8 and 9 or 10. So I'll go ahead and do mine. So this is what I have. I went ahead, I did 12 rounds in total. And if you are doing for 0 to 3 months, I will suggest, if you are using my type of yarn and 3.5 mm hook, I suggest you do 10 rounds. So you are going to stop here. For 6 to 12 months, you do 11. Remember, I want my pants to size up to 18 months, so I have 12. So remember, if you are using a thicker yarn and a bigger hook, you might need to reduce the number of rounds you will be doing. So I did 12 rounds. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 and 12, and that measures around 6 inches thereabouts. Yeah, a little above 6 inches, and in centimeters that is around 15.5 centimeters. So right now we'll be splitting the legs. As you can see, I have my middle stitch marked. That's why our foundation chain, we need it to be an even number, so that it can be easily, you can easily divide it by 2. So remember, I have 100 stitches, so divided by 2, I will have 50 stitches for each leg. So you go ahead and divide your number of stitches into 2, and you will mark your middle stitch. So I'll go ahead, I'll chain 2. I have 1 chain already, so I added 1, that's 2. So I have 1, 2. So I'll go ahead and continue until I get to my marked stitch. So this is what I have. I have my 50 stitches done. So I'll go ahead, I'll skip the remaining 50 stitches, and I'll grab my work. You see the very first double crochet we have here. I'll go in there and make a slip stitch. So the thing is, we'll be working on one leg at a time. So when we are done with one leg, we'll go ahead and proceed to the second leg. As you can see, we have an extra round here, while this still remains 12 rounds. So we'll keep working on these legs. When we're on this very leg, when we are done with this leg, we'll move to the second leg. So as you can see, after slip stitching, we have our first leg divided. We have it, and this will be the second. So after doing that, we chain up 2. Right now, we'll just be working in regular, we'll be working regular double crochets. We'll be working in rounds, and let me show you that quickly before I'll come and tell you the number of rounds we need to do. So just like what we did earlier, I chained 2, and into that very same stitch I'll work my first double crochet, and I will go ahead and I'll continue working my double crochet all the way until I get back here. Right here, this is a slip stitch, we are not working there. Our last stitch will be here, and I'll go ahead and slip stitch here. So when I'm done with that, I'll come back and tell you the number of rounds you need to do. So this is what I have after completing the second round. You can see that we have 2 extra rounds here. So I'll go ahead and go and continue working in rounds until I have about 13 to 14 rounds of this extended part. I'm not counting this upper part with it. I'll start my counting from here. 1, 2. So I'll go ahead and have 12 more or 11 more rounds. I will come and let you know the number of rounds I did. For 0 to 3 months, I'll suggest you do about, if you have 10 here, I'll suggest you do about 12 for the leg part. For 0 to 6 months or 3 to 6 months, I'll suggest you do about, if you have 11 here, I'll suggest you add 2 more. And for 6 to 12 months, if you have 12 here, I'll suggest you add 2 more. So remember, we are still going to work on the wider part. It's a full length pant. So I'll go ahead and complete my 14 or 13 rounds. I'll come and let you know the total number of rounds I did, and we are going to start working on the bell part, which is the wider part of the pants. So right here, I've done the leg, and I did the 14 rounds I said, starting from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So I did my 14 rounds, and I hope you did your own. You've done your own number of rounds. I suggested that you do. Remember, you can customize and adjust the measurements to the size you are making. This is just my own suggestion. This is the size chart I use. So moving on, right now you are going to be working on the wider part of the pants, the bell part. So right now, into each and every of our stitches, we are going to be working 2 double crochets in each stitch. So I chained 2. So into that same stitch, I'll go ahead and work 2 double crochets inside. So I'll go inside that same stitch. I'll work my first double. I'll yarn over. I'll go back inside that same stitch, right inside, and add 1 more. So that's 2 double crochets, and I'll repeat this all around, working 2 double crochets inside each stitch. So I'll go into the next. I'll work my first double, and into that same stitch I'll add 1 more. As you can see, we have 2 double crochets. So I'll go ahead and work this until I get to the very end, repeating the same thing, 2 double crochets. So this is what I have after working 2 double crochets into each stitches. This is what I have. Now I'll go ahead and slip stitch into my very first stitch. So right now, for size 0 to 3 months and 3 to 6 months, I'll suggest you just work regular rounds. You work 5 rounds in total. For 6 to 12 months and 12 to 18 months, I'll suggest you add one more. So you work 6 rounds of regular rounds. So I'll chain up 2. So no more increase. We are just working one double crochet into each stitch. One double crochet, no more increase. I'll go into the next, work one double crochet into the next. So just one double crochets. When I come to the end, I'll go ahead, slip stitch in the first stitch, chain 2, and repeat that again. As for me, I'll be doing that. I'll be repeating this for 6 rounds in total, for 0 to 3 months and 3 to 6 months. I'll suggest to do that for just 5 rounds. So when I have my 6 rounds done, I will come and show you what it looks like, and I will come and show you how to start this second leg. So once you complete the required number of rounds, just go ahead and fasten off, and I'll come and show you how to start the second leg. So this is what I have after completing my I said I was going to do 6 rounds, but it was looking quite short, so I added one more round. So I did 7 regular rounds. So in case you did yours and you feel like the flare part is too short, you want something longer, so you can just go ahead and add 1 or 2 more rounds to get to your desired length. So I have the first leg done, and this measures around, so from the top right here to the base right here, I need to lay that flat. You have about 39.5, this 40 actually, we have 40 centimeters, which is around 15.5, less than 16 inches. So the first leg is done. So right now we'll be moving on to the second leg. This size will definitely will definitely fit for 6 months, between 6 months to 18 months. Like, it will fit perfectly. So moving on to the second leg. So before we do that, if you find the video helpful, which I believe so, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you are not yet a subscriber, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime I drop a new video. Remember, we are working 4 pieces for this set, so we have 3 more to go to complete this set, so you don't want to miss out on that. So moving on to the second leg. So this is the front, because this is where I have my seam line. So this is the front and this is the back. So from the back like this, I'll grab my yarn, and we are going to be leaving about 8 to 10 centimeters because we'll be sewing this. We'll be having a little space in between the legs, so we want to sew that up, and we'll be using this yarn tail. So around this length, we'll be using this yarn tail to sew it. So I think I will leave up to 15 right there. So I made a slip knot. So you see our last stitch here at the back. I'll go right inside and slip stitch. Okay, I just joined with, so you can actually join anywhere, but let's see, yeah, right here, that very last stitch, that's where I'm going to join, and I'm going to pick my yarn. I'm going to adjust that and chain up 2, and into that same stitch I'll work a double crochet and into the next. So I'm going to move over to the front here. So this was where we entered our last stitch. I'm going to skip that and move to the next, which is here, and work my double crochet. Now move to the next, I'll work my double crochet. So continue working double crochets. As you can see that we have a space right here, so we are going to sew this leg together and this leg together like that. So I'll go ahead and continue working double crochets into each and every of my stitches, and when I get to the very back, I'll come and show you the next thing to do. So after getting to the very last stitch, which is here, I'm going to skip the chain 2, and I'll go ahead and slip stitch into my very first double crochet, and that is the end of the first round. So I'll chain 2. To avoid repetition, you are going to be repeating, you are going to mirror exactly what we did. You are going to mirror it on the second leg. So that is, you are going to be doing the exact thing we did for this leg. We are going to be doing that here. The same number of rounds you did for the first leg is what you'll be doing for the second leg. So For the first leg, I did 14 rounds for this leg part. So I have one, I will add 13 rounds. I'll add 13 more rounds. Then after that, I will go ahead and proceed to the flip part. Where we made our increase, I'm going to be repeating the exact thing. So you go ahead and repeat the same thing we did for this leg. You mirror it on the second leg. So when I have these two done, I will go ahead as well. I will make a drawstring. I'll chain maybe 150 or 200 and I'll pass that around the waistband. And once I have all this done, I will weave in my hands, and the last thing I will come and show you is how we are going to sew this opening that we have here. So that will be the last thing I'll come back and show you. So go ahead, complete the second leg, make your drawstring. It's just a regular chain, and you pass it around the waist, and you weave in your hands, leaving only this end, because we'll be using that to close this up. So go ahead and work here. So when I'm done, I'll come back and show you the last thing we are doing. So I went ahead and did the second leg, which is this, and I weaved in my hands right there and also at the top. Like I said I was going to do my drawstring, which I did already. I chained about 120 or 130 chains is what I have here, and I passed that through the entire waistband, and I have this right here in the front. So we'll be using this to make a bow or just tie. And right here at the ends, I'll be adding like a bead or just 2 pieces of beads at each end, so that this will not be able to pull through. But if you don't have bead, you can easily just make a knot or 2 knots to secure the end. And before that, I said I'm going to show you quickly how to close up this end. You can see that we have this hole right here underneath the pants. So I'll grab my needle, and I'm going to bring this inside out just like this. So I'm going to thread my needle with this yarn tail. So start threading my needle. You see this right here. I'm going to join these two ends together, and we'll join two ends together. That's how we are going to close it. So the two ends we have here by the side, these 2 double crochets, we are going to sew them together, and these 2 double crochets, we sew them together. So I'll go to the top of this, start with the first. I'm going to sew that. So we are sewing these 2 double crochet, and we're sewing them together. So we have these 2 together, and we have these 2 right here together like this. And I hope you can see clearly what I am doing. So I have this here. I'll just go through the stitch, just go through it and pass that. Thread my needle again. I'll go through that stitch one more time so that I can have it secured and closed. So I have this joint, so we have just this left. So before I move, I'll just make a tiny little knot right here, and I'll hide the tail. So while hiding the tail, I'll move to the other end. So I'll just pass it through the stitch. This is the same yarn color, it won't be visible. If you have a better way, please you can use it, but this is how I do mine. So you can see that we have this point joined. So this is what we have left, and this is what we want to join now. So we have the top here and the top here. So let's start with the top. As you can see, I'll just join. I'll pick through the stitch. I'll do one more, and finally, before I make a knot, you can see I have this tiny little hole left. I'll pass my needle back, pass it through anywhere, like anywhere. Pass it right here and back here. So I'll just go in between the stitches I have here in the center to close that up. So after doing that, I'll make a knot and fasten that off, and we have that completely closed. So I'll just make a knot, and I'll pass the yarn tail. Passing the yarn tail, and I'll just cut off the excess here until I have left. So, and we have that set. As you can see, we have the underpants completely closed. Look at that. So that is done. So for this, for the strap, is going to draw it up like this and make a knot. We'll make a bow, sorry. So our pants, like I said, if you don't have a bead, your pant is actually ready. And just make few knots here, but I'll just have 2 beads, because in other pieces I might incorporate 1 or 2 beads in our pieces. So let me quickly get my beads. So I grab my needle and I thread my needle with this tail, this yarn tail I have from the drawstring, and I'll pass 2 beads. That's the first and the second. Okay, right there. And I'll push that in. Okay, the first is, yeah. So I have that passed in right there. So I'll make like 2 knots right here to secure those beads. So I'll make sure the knot is as close as possible to the beads. And I'll do one more knot, and we are good. And you see the yarn tail, the excess tail I have, I'll just cut it off. And we have that done. It's actually beautiful. Like I said, it is optional. So that being said, and our pants is ready. Don't forget to turn on your post notification bell and also subscribe, because it's going to be a long ride, trust me. And in the comment section, you can guess the next tutorial I'll be dropping. Remember, we are making 4-in-1 sets. We are making a pant, a top, bucket art, and a matching bag. So drop in the comment section what you think I'll be dropping next. Yeah, and thank you so much for riding with me to this moment. And don't forget to like if you find it helpful, which I believe you do. And also don't forget to subscribe if you are not yet a subscriber. And I will see you in my next class. Before that, you can support the channel by subscribing to my membership plan to support and encourage me. So see you next time. Bye.